This is episode number 135 of the You, Me, and BTC podcast. Thanks for being here today. I hope you've been here for all of the 134 previous episodes, or more if you count interviews and live shows and whatnot. I hope you've been there for all of them. I am Daniel Brown, and I'm here with the magnificent
Timothy Baker.
Yeah, not relevant at all, not accurate at all, but magnificent, it's a word, so I said it. Goodness, all right, so the other night, I had some fun by myself in my room. Do you want to know what I did, Tim?
Oh, yes, please do tell, Daniel.
It was lots of fun. I spent probably an hour or two just scrolling through this Facebook page called Trolley Problem Memes. Now, this is probably an age-old concept, an age-old trolley problem, where you have a lever and you can make the trolley go down one track and kill X amount of people, or go down another track and kill Y amount of people. And then they've made all these spin-offs of the philosophical, moral issue, and they're pretty hilarious. I sent a bunch of good ones to Tim, and in usual Tim fashion, he just ignored me, but I know he was laughing on the inside.
I think I've responded to a few things, and in normal Daniel fashion, he blames me.
You're right. He didn't completely ignore me. But anyway, we're going to have some fun scrolling through that again, pointing out some of our favorites, because I'll explain here in a minute, but I think this actually fits really well with the tone of our show that we've had for a long time, and I'll explain that. Before I do, I want to mention something that we've neglected a little bit recently, but it's something I want to remind everyone about, and including myself. We do have a Patreon campaign at ymb.tc/feedus, because I'm a starving child or something in Africa, and I need to be fed with your money. So you, me, and btc.com/feedus. And yeah, well, you can get some perks there, bumper sticker, shout outs on the show, on Twitter, whatever. And what it is, if you don't know, it's Patreon. You just donate a small amount, any amount or a large amount per show. And, you support your neighborhood, You, Me, and BTC podcast. That's what you do. And we would love that. We seriously could never do this without our listeners. So thanks for being a listener, and please consider supporting us, You, Me, and btc.com/feedus. So Tim, have you heard of the trolley problem before? Do you know what the original one is? I guess I don't know where it came from, I'm sure it's hundreds of years old or something. But do you know what the original one is?
I'm not sure. I only say that because I keep on thinking of two as the original ones.
All right, what are those?
There's the trolley problem with, it's like you're just picking which track it goes on. It probably one of them has like one person on them, another one has three, and it's whether you can decide. But there's also one with there is one with, that's like a standard one with, then they throw in, like, you can push a fat dude off the bridge.
Okay.
And it blocks the trolley somehow, so it never really, it doesn't make much sense, but it works.
Yeah. No. That's actually, I had never heard of those before I saw this page, but I guess you have, because those are the two classics, and I think they go in that order. The first one is, there's a lever, and there's a trolley coming down the track. You're standing at this lever. On the regular track, if you don't pull the lever, pull the lever, Kronk. Anyway, if you don't pull the lever, there's 5 people tied to the tracks, down the track, whatever. So if you don't pull the lever, there's going to be 5 people that will be killed, but it won't be your fault. If you do pull the lever on the other track, there's 1 person tied down, and so there's going to be less people that die, but it's going to be your fault. You're going to be pulling the lever to make that happen. That's the original classic. What do you think, Tim? Before we get into everything else, any thoughts on that? What would you do?
I'd blow up the trolley.
Yeah, with the TNT that you carry around in your back pocket?
No, for this exact.
Well, how many people
question.
are on the trolley?
Well, no, actually, what you might. Well, yeah, I mean, do you want to kill people on the trolley too? Is that another option?
What I would do, I'd let it roll down the path and kill the 5 people, and then I'd push it back up and pull the lever and let it kill the other guy.
Let's do it again. I want a second try. I picked wrong.
All right, well, so here's why this, to me, seemed like a relevant topic for our show. This is the kind of stuff we argue about day and night. It's like, I remember I went through a phase, probably right smack in the middle of the entire podcast. This is just a guess, but maybe episode like 50 through 70 or something, somewhere back in the middle. I would always ask, like, all right, well, let's clarify. What do you think is acceptable, but what do you think is actually right? Or the benevolent thing to do, and I would ask moral questions like that. Do you remember that, Tim? You made a lot of fun of me for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's those kind of moral, just like, well, I don't know what this kind of seems right, but who really knows? Who really cares? We always come to those conclusions, and we've had probably multiple times the advice of the day has just been like, philosophy sucks. I hate thinking about philosophy because no one ever knows and everyone always argues. And I think that's kind of the point of the trolley problem, and this page more specifically is just like, look, there's so many decisions, and no one, especially when you get into to hypotheticals like this. I remember I called into Adam Kokesh's show a few times, and other people called in, and they would always come up with these hypotheticals. Well, let's say you were on a desert island. Would you violate the NAP? And he was all like, he would be respectful, but he would always try to stray away from that. Like, hey, the hypotheticals are fun, they're interesting, they might be helpful, but let's talk about real life here. But I don't know, but are you up for it, Tim? Are you ready to talk about some hypothetical trolley problems?
Yeah, I guess.
All right,
they're so very seriously hypothetical. I was one of those people, and you were right there whenever he was like, yeah, no, I don't like to talk about these hypothetical things. I'm like, this is all you used to do on your show. Shut the fuck up.
Wait, what? Yeah, do you remember what the question was when we did that?
No, because it was even like a legitimate, like it was, I think I even like said it at the beginning. I'm like, yeah, it's completely, it was about torture and the implications that has for like the NAP. Like if you have like a kidnapping victim or someone's been kidnapped, and like, can you take that person and torture them? And it's like, obviously in the situation it becomes like, who knows what you're going to do? But I was asking the question, and he was like, no, I don't want to talk about that. Let's talk about things we're certain of. So anyway, let's go back and talk about Robin Williams and how we all think that he killed himself.
Yeah.
He hung himself and like autoerotic asphyxiation. I'm like, come on, dude, just leave.
Yeah. That whole Robin Williams thing, that was quite the...
So I'll ask the important question, Daniel. If you had Robin Williams and Prince tied down on a train track, it's a little bit further apart. If we had the 72 people, if we had the 51 people killed in the Paul's Gay nightclub and the 72 people run over by a truck in France on 2 different sets of train tracks, which lever would you pull?
I don't know if this is how this question ended up, but if you were asking me to decide between Robin Williams and Prince, I would save Robin Williams, because I didn't even know who Prince was until he died. So
you're just a pink guy. You usually wear purple suits.
Oh man, yeah, the Pulse nightclub or wherever that truck was, I don't know. I guess
the Pulse nightclub. It was like driving a caravan. The truck was driving a caravan to the Pulse nightclub.
Yeah, no joke. I don't keep up with current events one bit. So, all right, but no, Tim, I want to know what one of your favorites was. I guess we'll start at the top. Just tell me about one that you saw that you liked. Any good ones there? Right
at the top, I like. Well, there's 2 I like, but the one, it's the China brain trolley problem. It's we construct the vast network of interconnected trolley problems, in which each lever is pulled or not pulled to simulate the firings of a neuron and brain with this system experience consciousness. And that
you read that way too frickin' fast, and I was reading it.
It's too
All
long.
right. If we were to construct a vast network of interconnected trolley problems in which each lever is pulled or not pulled to simulate the firings of neurons in a brain, would this system experience consciousness? See, there are some that are just like, again, like I said, part of the whole point of this page is like, this stuff is too complicated and too pointless. What if this happened and this happened and this happened? Consciousness, yes or no? It's just, anyway. Yeah, what does that have to do with the China brain?
I don't know what the China brain thing is.
Are they like trying to ask the question, is there like enough people in China? Is China its own consciousness?
If you give 1 million Chinese people in a room a couple of typers where they type out Shakespeare, China brain, in the philosophy of the mind, the China brain thought experiment considers what would happen if each member of the Chinese nation were asked to simulate the action of one neuron in the brain. So I guess it's a thing.
All right, I guess so. There's one right below that, which is funny, and there's actually an almost opposite one below, which I'll have to explain from memory because I'm sure it's way down there. But the next one here is the hedonist's trolley problem, where a hedonist is someone who loves pleasure, right?
Yeah.
Or they like, that's all they seek is pleasure. Okay, so the options here with the lever are kill 5 people, but go over a sick jump and jump through a flaming hoop. And that brings some pleasure. Or just kill 1 person, but you don't get to do the awesome jump. Ugh, that's a tough one.
It's a hard one to get over.
The reverse one, I can't remember the word. What's ascetic? Ascetic is where the opposite, where you deprive yourself of pleasure, right?
Yeah.
And so that one, it was pretty similar. Instead of jumping through a flaming hoop, it was doing a loop-de-loop. But it's like, would you kill 5 people, and have this pleasure of the sick loop-de-loop? Which is bad for an ascetic. So, you kill 5 people and go through the loop-de-loop, or you just kill 1 person. Or maybe there is a loop-de-loop after 1 person. I'm not tracking very well now, but... Oh, there's also this thing, which actually I got to look it up, because I meant to the other night, and I forgot. There's this whole concept about multi-track drifting. So I'm gonna do that right now. When you next hear my voice, it'll be about 30 seconds later after I Google this.
Multi-track drifting.
CryptoGames.net is an online casino where you can play with Bitcoin, Ethereum, Dogecoin, Litecoin, and more. They've got your classic dice game with an incredibly low house edge of 0.8%. You can also try your hand at blackjack, slot machines, or the lottery. If you're looking for more than just games, invest in the house edge to share profits and losses with the casino. Try it absolutely free right now and catch the winning spirit at crypto-games.net. That's crypto-games.net. All right, so apparently I thought multi-track drifting, just in my head as I was hearing bits and pieces about it, I thought that it was a real like quantum physical theory where like, oh, they could shift through time and kill people or not kill people on different timelines or something. But apparently I was thinking too hard. Apparently all it is like, well, theoretically the trolley could kind of skid across both tracks and kill all 6 people, the 5 on the one track and the 1 person on the other track. Or that's part of the idea of multi-track drifting. But there's obviously lots of spins on it. It was originally a meme itself, something about multi-track drifting, based on a parody of some comic. I don't know, I'm skimming through Know Your Meme here. Was accomplished in a rail parody, Densha de by the protagonist heading into a double-tracked curve with his train in such a way that the rear wheel bogey jumps the tracks and replaces itself on the adjacent track, making the train appear to be drifting like a car would. So I guess that's all it is. You have your front wheels on one track, your back wheels on the other track, and you end up killing everyone. So anyway, that's a big thing in these trolley memes. All right, here it is. This is another one of my favorites. It might have been the first one that I saw that got me to click on this page. If you pull the lever, Harambe will die. If you don't, his existence will never be appreciated. Which do we value higher, Harambe or the idea of Harambe? So it's like, you go down one track, nothing bad happens, Harambe lives, but nobody ever knows about him. Which is, that's actually a pretty serious philosophical question, because if Harambe was never shot, I don't keep up with current events. I don't know all the details. But if they never killed Harambe, that gorilla that had a child or something, then no one would ever know about him. And the idea of Harambe would just disappear. So I don't know, Tim, would you kill the gorilla just so that people could memorialize him on social media?
I think that's more important. I really think that the greater good and the value to society as a whole is something we should put above the individual's needs.
Yeah. The idea of Harambe is way more important than human life. Definitely. All right. What's next, Tim? You see another good one?
I like the Machiavellian trolley problem, which is just 700 people on one track, nobody on the other track, and for the 700 people, it just says path to success.
Wait.
Just kill everybody.
Yeah.
He's the dude, do you remember him? He's the dude who wrote The Prince and everything he wrote the book pretty much on political, not corruption, but just being a piece of shit.
Yeah. Now, I never read it, but correct me if I'm wrong, wasn't it kind of a The Prince, the book The Prince or whatever, wasn't that a condemnation of the monarchy? So don't libertarians kind of like him?
I don't think it was necessarily that. I don't know what his specific political things were.
I never read it.
It would make more sense that I think it was more him saying if you're going to be a leader, you have to do it like this, and you have to go hard at it, and you need to be a boss ass gangster with it. I also like the determinists trolley problem, which is just you'll pull the lever.
Oh.
Eventually, at some point, you will.
Yeah. That's another big thing in here is fate, or fate versus free will. Do you even get to decide if you pull the lever or not? That comes up in several of these, and I don't know. Do we get to decide? It's a good question. There's
the Freudian trolley problem, which is if you don't do anything, nobody gets hurt. However, as a repressed homosexual, you still feel a subconscious need to pull the lever because of its phallic shape. Do you pull the lever?
Yeah.
It's I just want to touch it.
That was maybe the second one that I sent you. I was all right, Tim has to know about this one. So, hey, there's one here. Yeah, I forgot to at the beginning explain the idea of the fat man getting pushed off the bridge. So the question is, it's similar to the original trolley problem, do you kill one man or do you kill five? But it's a little different in that there's a bridge over the tracks, and you have the option. There's a fat man at the top of the bridge, and there's 5 people. There's only one track, and there's 5 people tied to it. So naturally, 5 people will be killed. But if you push the fat man off, he might stop the trolley, but only one person will be killed. And there's also kind of the idea that the fat man is kind of indulgent or something, and maybe he deserves to die. Maybe he's a fat capitalist or something like that. And so, yeah, I don't know. Would you push the fat man off the bridge, Tim, to possibly save the 5 skinny men?
No, those skinny men are bad breeders. We need hefty people to shoot out healthy babies that just sit and just listen. I know everything you need to know.
Yeah. Well, the reason I had to go back to that and explain the original fat man idea is because there's one here called I don't know who this is, the Sorites trolley paradox. If the large man started a diet and exercise and lost a pound or 2 or 3, he would remain a large man because the loss of a single pound doesn't transform a large man into a thin man. Yet, if he keeps up diet and exercise, he will become a thin man, and his mass sufficient will be insufficient to stop the trolley. How does this happen if the loss of no single pound changes him from large to thin? Yeah, okay, so it's it's like it's kind of discrete versus quantum numbers, right? Like, which actually I've thought about this for years, since like elementary school or something. Like, how do you go from not moving to moving? Like, theoretically, if your velocity is zero, if you're actually not moving, then somewhere in between moving and not moving, your acceleration has to be infinity, right? Because over some unit of time, you've gone from zero to something, right? And zero to something over an infinitely small unit of time is infinity. So that's always confused me. And you know, am I making sense, Tim? Do you get what I mean? How if you divide time down into as small as you possibly can, then going from zero to something, to no matter what it is, zero to something over divided by an infinitely small piece of time, that yields infinity, right?
Yeah. I mean,
I'm not making sense, am I?
I guess. I think I follow.
I guess it's a calculus thing, and I know you never really got into calculus,
Shut the
Tim.
fuck up.
No, I mean, I don't want to beat this to death because I might not be making sense, but just in case it helps, I'll explain one more time. Whenever you divide any positive number divided by an infinitely small number, a unit of time, you know, no matter how small the top number is, if you're dividing by, screw it, never mind, moving on. Just look up calculus. I liked calculus, and you might too. Whew. Anyway, the point is, infinity is there somewhere, including in losing weight, right? Like, you know, losing a single pound or two doesn't make you a thin man, but eventually it will. How is that possible? I don't know. Crap. All right, what's your next favorite, Tim? I need to stop talking. This happens every episode. I go on.
Oh yeah, and then you freak out, and then I try to just like calm you down.
What do I do? I've been talking too much.
Oh, well, this is a month old now, but this happened, pretty much about a month ago when the two Italian trains decided to be on the same track going opposite ways and destroy themselves. But the Italian trolley problem. The trolleys are headed towards each other. There will be a head-on collision. The lever does nothing, but switching it makes an enjoyable clicking noise to which you can use to silence the screams.
Yeah. Again, I don't keep up with current events, so I never heard about this till this meme, but it made me laugh, I guess. Another good one I see here. Nobody is in danger. There's two tracks and a lever. Nobody is in danger. You're a professor for moral philosophy. Do you tie people to the rails to save your job?
Definitely, yes. We have the irresistible trolley force paradox, which is, on this moral dilemma, our trolley is an unstoppable object that is going to meet 5 tied persons soon. However, you can save them by pulling the lever, but this makes the trolley meet the Grey Cube, a rare artifact that is known to be an immovable object.
Oh.
What would you do? Some theories suggest that the last time an unstoppable object meet an immovable object, universe rebooted. Would you take this risk to kill 5 persons?
Well, yeah, I mean, that's infinity, right? It's the same thing. One of them can't move, and one of them has to move, and I don't know. Anyway, all right, what's your next favorite one, Tim?
I found the trolley problem of direct democracy. It just has like 9 people on both tracks, all with levers. They're going to be switching it back and forth.
Yeah. Speaking of switching them back and forth, I don't see the actual one here, so this is another one from memory. But it's like, let's say, okay, so there's 3 tracks. You're standing on one track with a lever, and someone else is standing on the opposite track with the lever. And there's a track in the middle that won't kill anyone. The middle track is safe. I don't know, Tim. I feel like this is a good question for you with your cynical attitude. So here's how it works. If nobody switches a lever, the trolley just goes right down the middle. Everyone's fine. But if you switch the lever, you'll kill the other person. And if the other person switches the lever, he'll kill you. So the question is, do you trust the other person not to kill you and let the trolley just go down the middle and everything's fine? Or do you, out of defense, basically, just to save yourself, in case the other person is going to pull the lever, do you try to pull it first, just to make sure, listen, I know I'm going to kill the other person, but I can't risk him killing me, so I'm going to pull the lever first. I guess the idea is whoever pulls it first, that's the way it's going to go permanently, and it can't be changed back. Does that make sense, Tim? Would you trust the other person and hope that the trolley goes down the middle, or would you not trust him and try to pull it first and kill him?
I'd probably pull it first. I'm not going to trust somebody.
That's exactly what I expected. Which I don't know. It's a tough decision. I don't know. I don't know if I could. Not necessarily because I value the other person. I just don't know if I value myself enough to take the moral risk. It's like, I don't care, so I die. What's the big deal? So, yeah. All right, so here's one that's labeled the libertarian trolley problem. And so I'll read it, but I actually think there's a better one that is not labeled the libertarian trolley problem, but it could be. But here's the first one. So I don't actually even really know what the point is here, but I'll just read it in case any of you do. It's this guy, Jean P. Sartre, or Sartre. Nah, free will exists, my friend. We're free, and my actions are totally free. Try to predict my action. Whoa, I changed my mind, dude. I'm gonna do the opposite thing I intended before. Couldn't predict that one, could you? Nah, radical freedom. I guess he didn't believe in fate. I guess he was a free will supporter. I don't know what that really has to do with libertarianism, though, but the idea is that you can't predict my action, bruh. I just changed my mind from what I was gonna do before. All right, anyway. No, the one I liked better for libertarianism and the NAP was, let's say that the trolley is going to kill 5 people. There's a lever that you could pull, and you could put it on a different track that would kill nobody. All right, nobody's better than 5 people, but here's the catch. The lever is right behind a sign that says private property. Do you violate the NAP and go on to private property in order to save 5 lives? Would you do it, Tim?
Yeah, probably wouldn't. I'd probably break on the property.
So you would violate that NAP, but you wouldn't trust someone else. Not, I'm referring to the last one about would you pull the lever first. So you would violate private property in a heartbeat, but you wouldn't trust someone else not to kill you.
I mean, I wouldn't call 5 people on train tracks with a trolley coming down a heartbeat, but yes. I'm still waiting for that point in my life, to ever see anybody tied to a train track. I feel like it's brought up too much. I'm not around them a ton, but you'd think you'd find that more just people fucking around, just sticking people on them, or people driving over with cars and everything. But
yeah. All right, here's another good one, Tim. I guess you missed our Pokemon Go episode, but here's the question. You traveled back in time. Do you stop Pokemon Go from ever existing, or do you let those who died because of playing Pokemon Go die? So there have been people that, I think, they've been hit by cars or something playing Pokemon Go. So if you go back in time, do you stop Pokemon Go from existing to save their lives? Or do you let Pokemon Go exist because it's just so frickin' cool?
No, you just let it exist so that they suffer longer.
Yeah, I guess, I don't know, we never had a chance to cover this too much, Tim, but I guess you're not a huge fan of Pokemon Go, not as much as me and John.
I've never played it, but yeah.
All right, so there's one here that I won't even try to explain. It's like there's 4 different tracks, and there's people on the trolleys, and some of them are red, and some of them are blue, and the people with the levers are red or blue, and the goal is to save as many of your color as you can. I don't know, that's pretty racist if you ask me. So we're going to skip that one. But go ahead, yeah, what's your next favorite?
This one, I think this is probably my favorite, is the industrialist problem, which is the trolley is full of money. If you pull the switch, it will kill one person and keep going. There may or may not be others further down the track who also get killed. If you do nothing, the 5 will die and the trolley will stop, allowing you to collect the money. How do you make the switch appear to be jammed?
Yeah, that's another one I sent to
you.
What was the word? Industrialist?
Yeah, the industrialist.
Yeah, so I guess the idea is that they'll do anything they don't care if people die, but they'll do anything to get their money. Which, there's people out there like that, including me. No, I'm sorry, that's not me. Oh, here's a real good one. There's some hats here. Make America Great Again, or Don't Tread on Me, a baseball cap, or America is Already Great. And there are 2 tracks, and you can pull the lever to pick which track you want, but they actually come together just down the line anyway, and there's about 100 people tied to the tracks. And the caption is, "The wealthy elite controls the lever, but you get to pick your favorite hat." So it obviously it has to do with like the election and stuff. No matter which way you push the lever, they're going to come together in the end and kill hundreds of people. But hey, you might get a cool ball cap out of it. So that's fun. Or a bumper sticker. You know, the Trump 2016 bumper sticker.
They're so cool. It's different colors.
Yeah.
I fly the Gadsden flag because I love my country. And
there's one here which I'm sure there's actually a mathematically correct answer. But there's 5 people on the one track, and they all have a 75% chance of survival. And there's 1 person on the other track, but he only has a 15% chance of survival. And yeah, I took probability classes. I'm sure there's a mathematically correct answer here, but I didn't feel like figuring it out at like midnight laying in my bed by myself, so I didn't figure it out.
That's good. I don't know if I'll be able to find it, but there was another one I liked. It's like the entire track's just a circle, and there's just one trolley, and it's like, do you kill the 1 person first and watch 5 people watch them, or do you kill 5 people and make 1 person watch you kill 5 people first?
Yeah, it was everyone's gonna die, but it's like, do you kill more people first so that they don't have to witness as much suffering? Or do you kill 1 person and there's 5 people that have to witness his suffering? Yeah, something like that. If a trolley problem happens in the woods and you pull the lever remotely, is it better to cause multi-track drifting so that no one will be around to witness the event? And if so, did the event ever happen? So, obviously, it's if the tree falls in the woods, does it make a sound? Well, the idea is that if you get the trolley to go on both tracks and kill, it's a traditional trolley problem, 5 people and 1 person. But if you get multi-track drifting and kill all 6 people, then everyone's dead, and it happened in the middle of the woods. So did the event actually happen if nobody was alive to witness it? I don't know. Maybe they all survived.
Definitely.
All right, we got time for 1 or 2 more here. Wow, I guess we pretty much have done a whole episode on this, which maybe I feel bad for everyone trying to listen to the explanation here, or maybe we have explained them well enough. I don't know, but I'm sure I should have mentioned this at the beginning. It's trolley problem memes, which you can just search on Google or Facebook. But if you want the actual URL, it's facebook.com/trolleyproblemmemes. And apparently you have to have a Facebook account to view it. I didn't know you had to have an account to see pages, but I guess you weren't signed in, Tim, and you couldn't see it, right?
Yeah.
All right. Well, yeah, if you want to see the actual images and if you want to see all the ones that we skipped because we obviously can't cover all of them, then go check that out. Here's another good one with Pokemon Go. I've never played it, but until, the last few weeks. So I don't know all the Pokemon and which ones are good and which ones are bad. But apparently a Dragonair is a good one. And it says if you pull the lever, which in this case, pulling the lever means no one dies. But on the regular track, 5 people would die. But if you pull the lever so that no one dies, you won't have time to catch the Dragonair. What do you do? Oof. Oof.
That's a hard one.
Yeah, Tim. Dragonair. They're great.
Fuck Dragonairs.
They're worth 5 lives.
I killed a red Gyarados once. I don't give a fuck.
Wait, seriously? What's that mean?
I don't
Are they
know.
hard?
Dude, fucking Joe and Ryan lost their shit for like a day and a half in high school whenever I did that. They beat me, they shunned me. It was a whole thing for a while. I didn't even know. I thought it was just some stupid thing.
All right. So this one's long, but it's a good philosophical question. The Mahayana trolley problem. It's probably some Buddhist thing or something, or Asian philosophy. I don't know. There's 3 options. Mode 0, the default setting. You do nothing and will experience this until you make a choice. So the idea is that, it's just a circular track, and it says there's 10 billion souls on the track. So if you do nothing, the train's just going to keep going around and around, repeatedly killing 10 billion souls. All right, so that's mode 0. Mode A, you become a Buddha. You will immediately vanish. Oh, you're on the track too. So in mode 0, you're seeing 10 billion souls die and yourself. Now, mode A, you become a Buddha. You immediately vanish, so you're no longer on the track, and you'd no longer suffer. As a reward for your philosophical contributions to the Buddhist world, at the end of every cycle, 1 soul on the track vanishes. So there's 10 billion souls, but in mode A, you vanish, and every time around, another soul vanishes and is saved, I guess. Or mode B, you become a Bodhisattva, or Bodhisattva. You can now make 5 souls vanish at the end of each cycle, shortening the time needed to save or end all of suffering. But you will be chained to the tracks, and you will feel the pain of every single person. Every time someone gets run over, you feel it. But eventually, after all the 10 billion souls are gone, you will vanish as well. All right, so here it is, Tim, in layman's terms. You watch one person be saved, and everyone else dies, including yourself, every time around the track. Or 5 people get saved every time around the track, but you don't get saved until the end. Does that make sense, and do you know which one you would choose? Basically, save 1 person at a time, but you get saved at the beginning, or save 5 people at a time, but you get saved at the end. 10 billion souls we're talking here. I talked a lot there again, but maybe I made sense.
Probably the one then, because I'd be done first, right?
Yeah. That's what I was going to say. With your cynical attitude, I knew you had to pick yourself first. I don't get why this is
cynical. Everyone says it's cynical, and I'm just saying what you people would be
Tim,
doing.
you have no compassion. You have no empathy. You could be saving 4 extra souls per universe.
They got there themselves. They went to hell for the same reason I did. I found my way out. Get involved with a trolley problem. Maybe pick yourselves up by the bootstraps. Wow. Pick yourself up by your boot shoes, kid.
All right. One last one, Tim. We got time for one more, and it's up to you. What do you pick?
Oh, now there's a lot of pressure, because I had one, but I guess I'll just go with what I think is the first one. It's just the Turing test trolley problem.
Oh, yeah. I remember that, but I don't remember what it was, so hit me.
Okay. Well, it's just 2 on each side of the train tracks. There's a
curtain, right?
A curtain set up across the tracks to cover who it is.
Yeah.
You are at the controls. The only way you can communicate with both entities behind the curtains is by the tablet device you have. Both entities are trying to convince you they are human. You should save them. The trolley is naturally heading down path X. The only thing you do know is that the computer passes the Turing test, and an innocent man will die. P.S. It's a really smart computer.
Yeah. So it's like you have the choice to kill either a robot or a human, or a computer or a human, and you don't know which one's which, and the only way you get to decide is through the Turing test. And yeah, I don't know. Does that mean that we shouldn't make computers smart, because then we might think they're humans, and we might start valuing computers above humans?
We already do that.
I don't know. I know.
I'd kill the guy and then release the computer and be like, I'm going to have a good place whenever you rule everything, right?
Yeah, the computer at least obeys me. All right, Tim. So, time for advice of the day. We could have some fun here. I know what mine is. The easy one that we've said before, but it's my favorite advice. Or I don't know, not really advice, but just a thought of the day is just, oh my gosh, I can't stand philosophy. I can't stand questions like this. Because, yeah, there were some that were in here that were easy answers, like, oh, clearly I'd kill the other person first. or maybe for some people, it's clearly I would just let him kill me because I don't really value my own life that much. So, yeah, some of these in here had clear answers. Obviously, the idea of Harambe is far more valuable than Harambe himself.
Obviously.
But I don't know. Going back to the original one and some of the other ones in here, they're seriously tough philosophical questions. Would I take action to kill one person or let 5 people die? I guess I would take action. I don't really see why not. If I don't know any of the people, or even if I did, especially if I did, I don't know. But the point, I don't want to get into it anymore. The point is, philosophy is so, and people argue so much, and nobody really comes to clear answers. And that's about all I got for my thought of the day. Anything else, Tim?
I guess, I don't know anyone who's out. I really hope nobody's out there like freaking out about trolley problems. I mean, they're not supposed to be an actual question. They're supposed to make you think. I think people do take them too seriously. And I like this page because it's like, I mean, you can, like, this is within the realms of reason. Like, whenever you're already, well, I mean, you have this person tied down here and this, so they'll be weird. My advice, I guess, from all my answers today would just be watch out for number 1 and just figure out who number 1 is. And that number 1 is you guys, because you need to look inside yourself, pick yourself up by your bootstraps, and yeah, that's why we like Bitcoin.
All right. Wow, I don't know if I'm going to end up considering this a good episode because I love trolley memes, or a bad episode because we had to kind of explain them and we kind of tripped through them and may or may not have made sense. But that's up to all you guys, I guess. All you listeners out there, let us know what you thought of an episode like this. Leave a comment at btc.com. And if you are not already listening on our website, you can get to the comments easily by going to /E135. E135, that's the way we do our shortcuts to each episode. So you can find any episode that way, but this one is E135. And yeah, leave us a comment there or wherever you are on SoundCloud, Liberty.me, I don't know, Free Talk Live, Spreaker, wherever the heck you're listening. Leave us a comment. Tell us what you thought about this episode, and go find more episodes and listen to them and leave comments. That's all at btc.com. All the music you're listening to right now is from John Stewart, who wasn't with us today, but his spirit is always in his music. So thanks, John, for that. And come back next Thursday, guys, for another fantastic episode. Peace.
Bye-bye, people.